You set yourself up.
Yeah. I think I could do the splits. Look how I sit back here.
It's quite impressive.
Wow.
Not what no one can see is that your testicles are out.
Correct. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Boxing 365 for the latest episode of Next Card in the Deck, where we're looking at Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa. It's going to be courtesy of Queensberry Promotions, Mr. Frank Warren, at the Echo Arena in Liverpool.
It's the M&S Bank Arena.
Huh?
It's the M&S Bank Arena.
The Echo Arena.
What's the M&S Bank?
Well, you're welcome to check.
I'm not
When
fact
I
checking
checked, it said Echo Arena.
Checking.
Okay, you check. As I said, the main event is Nick Ball and Figueroa. But before we get into all of the usual bits, go on, Box Rec. Before we get into all of the usual bits, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We're trying to grow the channel, trying to grow the community. So please do all of those things. Tom's showing you with his hands.
Showing you where to click. You're right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we start with the main event?
Yeah, let's start with the start.
Start with the start.
Let's
not
do that.
Start at the end.
Let's do that. So, Nick Ball, Brandon Figueroa, obviously for Nick Ball's WBA featherweight title.
It's a good fight.
Yeah, it is.
Like everyone's wrote Brandon Figueroa off. I feel like everyone's kind of just gone,
Well,
oh, it's a routine walk in the park.
maybe British fans.
Yeah, I mean, I
think British fans have probably just gone. We used to seeing Nick Ball deliver, really, except for his draw. But
wish he won, didn't he? Let's be fair. Should have won, I should say.
yeah,
Obviously he didn't win. Yeah, obviously I want Nick Ball to win, and I think Nick Ball will win.
It's one of those weird ones where he's not really giving you. Nick Ball doesn't really seem to have given us any reason to doubt his ability, particularly other than a couple of closer fights, a couple of close decisions.
Yeah,
On
but that's
paper.
usually down to the fact that, like, against Sam Goodman, for example, because that was one that I think
that we thought that it looked a little bit difficult for him at times, but in actual fact, it was quite a
routine.
wide unanimous decision. So.
Well, what I was referring to with the Goodman one was just the fact that Nick sort of started a bit slow, and I think sometimes you see that with Nick. But again, I think you're bang right. He's not giving us any reason to go.
No, he hasn't, but in a weird way, you sort of still do. Because I think you know what I think doesn't help.
Go on.
He's at featherweight and he's what 5'2", 5'2".
Is.
So you kind of always think he's up against it,
Disadvantaged.
But like you say, I feel like we kind of as fight fans, British fight fans, kind of over that now. You kind of don't really look at that. But I think
the other thing as well is, what I think a lot of us forget is, when you're small, right, and you're 5'2", and everyone goes, "Oh, he's fighting someone taller than him." Yeah, no shit. He spent his entire career fighting people that are bigger than him, fighting people that he's had to adapt and learn and develop that skill set of dealing with that sort of that hurdle. Whereas with, say, a heavyweight, for argument's sake, who is taller and fights taller men, when they go up against someone who is smaller, generally speaking, the struggles tend to sit more with the taller guy.
Yeah.
Because you're not as used to fighting.
So what we're saying is, if Nick Ball ever fights somebody that's smaller than 5'2", he might be a bit confused.
Yeah,
not necessarily know
what I was
kind
of going to get to, the wrong way around it, is that Figueroa will probably have more issues with Nick Ball's height than Nick Ball will have with Figueroa's.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I agree. And like I said, I wonder whether that's one of those things now where you've seen Nick Ball fighting plenty of tall fighters, so it's not really not really a factor that people worry about too much anymore. But I always think it depends on the style as well. Nick's pretty good at getting round jabs and getting in and doing his work, and that's obviously how he's earned himself a world title. So you can't necessarily see that people will just be able to, or that I can't necessarily see that Brandon Figueroa is going to have some sort of magic way to prevent that, unlike anybody else before him. But at the same time, you are talking about, like say, two-time world champion.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I was just thinking to myself then, I was thinking, if I was Brandon Figueroa's corner and I'm looking at the game plan to stop a Nick Ball, what do you need? What tools do you need to stop a Nick Ball? And you think to yourself, right, So Nick's got great head movement,
Mm.
laterally, absolutely brilliant. Better boxer than I think people give him credit for, but obviously he has got the obvious hindrance. He's got T-Rex arms.
Mm.
T-Rexes aren't notoriously good at jabbing. Like,
Mm.
we've seen loads of T-Rexes jab. I've lost my train of thought.
Because you were talking about T-Rexes and I didn't laugh at your joke, weren't it?
It's not even to do with that. It's just like I was just talking about it. So Nick Ball, right? My point is how we stop Nick Ball. So what I was going to say is that I think you need to have, for me, a Shakur Stevenson type jab. So the jab that, even though it's not connecting, is always
Mm.
out in your face. So it's hard to see around it. You've always got the glove in and
Yeah.
around, right?
You're always working
You're always thinking,
around
always
it.
working, yeah. So Nick's very good at getting inside that jab. Don't get me wrong. But then I think alongside that jab, you need to have enough power for Nick to. He'll always walk through it. It's the type of fighter he is. Saw it against Ray Ford. Saw it against Ray Vargas. But you need to have enough power to be able to go, right, so Nick goes, right, I'm going to second guess gambling that
Yeah.
just in case.
I mean, Figueroa has got
Tough.
plenty of power as well. He's 19 knockouts and he's 26 wins. But
Yeah.
again, he has moved across. I didn't actually check that, but he's now moved up in weight, hasn't he? Because he's at super bantamweight. Previously, he was a world champion, and
This would
then at
make him,
featherweight. So
this would,
no, he was. He did lose. I think he lost
he
his
did.
WBC title to Stephen Fulton, or was it
Yes.
vacant at that point? I can't quite remember. But both of his losses have come to Stephen Fulton between bantamweight and featherweight,
And
super
there's
bantam and featherweight.
no shame in that. Stephen Fulton, when he's not a cruiserweight,
Yeah.
is a very, very, very talented boxer. Yeah, the Nick Ball. I love that. I love it when Nick Ball fights because again, I think it always raises really good talking points. Because again, you look at it from a casual point of view, and you look at Nick Ball and go, he's tiny.
Mm,
Just stick him on end of your jab, and yeah, that seems brilliant,
yeah.
right?
And for an average tall person against an average short person, that'd work.
That'd work perfectly. But
Nick
Nick
Ball's
Ball's.
just, yeah.
And that for me is where it just raises all these questions, and you get someone in who's slightly different, slightly unorthodox, southpaw or orthodox, switch hitter, whatever. And you go, okay, what are these guys going to do differently? And Nick finds a way to win.
Yeah.
And I expect, I'll be honest, for him to do the same thing. Would I be surprised if Figueroa won? No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be sort of
I think I would be surprised. I wouldn't be like it wouldn't be like the shock of
no.
the year or anything like that. It wouldn't be the
Well, it'd be
upset of the
one of
year.
them. I mean, we're early on, aren't we?
No, what I'm saying is it's not going to be like an upset where you go flipping heck, wow.
Yeah.
It's just you just be like, well, hmm, I'm surprised it happened, but it's you're talking about like I said, a
Two
previous world champion.
two world champions,
Mm,
a former world champion and a world champion. You've got two elite level fighters.
yeah.
Do you think Nick Ball has still had the statement win yet?
Not particularly. He's had some good wins. I thought the Ray Ford win was a good win.
The Ray Ford win, especially when Ray Ford, because Ray Ford came in as world champion, he came off of a win against. Oh, it's going to test me a little bit because I've gone blank. He was Ray Ford won a fight that he won the world title against a guy that no one wanted to fight. It'll come back to me later, but it was a very impressive win. So then for Nick Ball to go and win that
Yeah. Yeah,
was
that's what I'm sort of looking at it. And Ray Ford, well, in his last, I think this is some of his last most recent fights. Ray Ford, Ronnie Rios, TJ O'Henny,
yeah.
Sam Goodman, and obviously Ray Vargas, where he drew. Um, yeah, I don't know. It depends because there's got to be somebody there to beat, and I actually think it's almost like Nick Ball is that kind of name
For
for
someone
somebody
else.
else to beat and go, I beat Nick Ball. So I can't think off the top of my head necessarily where I would say he needs
I don't
to
think the
beat.
name exists at the minute.
Not particularly.
You look at them at that weight class, and we were talking about it the other day. So at that weight class, you've got Angelilio, who yeah, he's a world champion, but he's not a huge name. You've got Espinoza.
Might be. I'm terrible at this.
You're
You
terrible
shouldn't
at
put me on
You're
spot like
terrible
this.
at Mexican names. And then you had Stephen Fulton, but he's now vacated. Or was it Gary Antoine? No, that's 140.
So, but
My point is, there's no massive names in featherweight at the
yeah,
minute for Nick Ball to prove he is at the elite
Well,
level of that sport.
I think by process of elimination, perhaps being biased towards British fighters, he's the best that the division's got.
Best
And
British, best British or best featherweight in the world.
I mean, I argue he's the best in the world because, like I
I'd
say,
agree.
it's not necessarily for somebody to beat him. You'd go, wow, they would now be, in my opinion, the best.
Yeah.
But there's nobody where that would elevate Nick Ball from where he is now, other than obviously legacy wise and titles wise,
No, you're right.
securing more titles. Obviously that's better, but there's not somebody whose name could add to his resume that would build him up any more than he is now. Personally, I think it's only titles really that will do that for him at the minute. Not to say that there won't be somebody that will.
Yeah. Do you think with his height, and I know we spoke about it, do you think that's going to affect his ability to move up and down weights realistically?
Yeah. I mean, down. I don't know. It's just because you never really see that. You don't see people going
I
down.
don't think the rumor of the Inoue fight has been obviously on and off the cards now forever, right? Everyone wants to see it, and that's your name. He's
Oh,
only one weight below Nick Ball, and Nick keeps saying if he comes up, I'll fight him.
yeah.
So clearly, to me, that gives indication that either Nick isn't going to be able to make that weight because he is stocky, isn't he?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's not that he can't. I don't know if it's that he can't make it. Rather that if you're going to be fighting Naoya, you don't really want to be fighting him at his weight.
No,
He should be fighting you at your weight
you want
because
that.
that's an advantage for you straight away.
Yeah, and Inoue wants the legacy fight, so you want another weight class on
Yeah,
your resume.
yeah. But I
Come
agree.
get it.
I don't think he could. I don't really think he could go up. I think he really.
Super feather's tough as well. Thing is, as well, this is the other thing that people forget. So featherweight sounds small, and it is small. Obviously,
Mm,
it's 9 stone, I think, super feather.
yeah, but not many fighters at featherweight are 5'2".
But you get to super feather, you then go from super feather, and you go, okay, right, where now? Oh, lightweight.
No, expect a 5'2"
Oh,
frame. He's not going to be able to fill out enough because
yeah.
it's like so. If we take Figueroa for example, he's 5'9". So
Mhm.
he's not a giant. He
No.
just is in comparison to Nick Ball.
Yeah. Well,
So, what I'm saying then is super feather, lightweight. You'll still find people that are 5'9", 5'8", 5'6", whatever.
yeah.
So it won't be the height that's a problem. It's just I don't think that on a 5'2" frame he's going to
Be big.
necessarily be able to
Carry enough weight.
continue going
Yeah.
and not be losing out on power and not be coming
Yeah.
sluggish and things like
Slow.
that.
Yeah.
That's just what I think. But
I don't mind that. He's a bit of a throwback fight for me, Nick Bull. I
yeah,
really like him, and I think he should dominate the division forever and
okay.
retire.
Well, both fighters fought fairly recently. July for Figueroa, August for Nick Ball. August was obviously Sam Goodman for Nick Ball.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, good names on Figueroa's record as well. Luis Neri, Carlos Castro, Jesse Magdaleno. Um, beat Joet Gonzalez in July, unanimous decision. So
Good result, that.
yeah, I would say as always, Nick Ball's up against it against height and reach, but that's not really a factor to worry about too much anymore. Obviously Figueroa's previous world champion, but it's his first. I think this is his first fight outside of the US, so that's going to be new for him, especially in Liverpool as well.
So I was thinking about something, right, the other day, and we refer to that a lot as a British channel, right?
Mm.
And we'll say, for example, earlier on, I looked at the Lauren Price for Stephanie Aquino
In
fight
Wales,
got
it's gonna be
announced,
in Wales.
and I went, "It's going to be in Wales, yeah." But I went, "She's never fought outside Puerto Rico," and then I
Mm.
thought, "There's a lot of British fighters who never fought outside Britain," and I appreciate these levels.
Yeah,
I appreciate there's a level, but then I think sometimes maybe,
yeah, perhaps, but
like with fighters, you can only fight who's put in front of you, can't you?
it is, it is. I do think, I suppose the argument's there that in Britain, if you're going through, say, journeyman on your way to
Yeah,
area titles, whatever British titles, you're probably only fighting similar, if depending which country we're talking about, maybe even worse opposition than somewhere like Mexico or whatever, where they're all just hard as nails. So
Nicaragua.
yeah, so perhaps it doesn't carry, but more from the standpoint of it's normally been in familiar settings. This
Yeah,
isn't going to be a familiar setting, and it's going to be quite, I imagine, a quite hostile setting.
hope so.
That's the whole, you know,
Hope so.
champion's backyard. So yeah,
Well, speaking of South America,
mm,
next fight involves one.
yes, it does. I think the next.
Two. It
involved.
does. One actually involves Nicaragua,
It does.
but the next one doesn't involve
Not this one.
Nicaragua.
The next one is Andrew Kane and Alejandro Gonzalez, which
Well
is
pronounced.
a final eliminator, the WBC bantamweight title.
Read the records out.
Okay. Andrew Kane is 14-1, 12 knockouts. Pretty impressive, really.
Big puncher.
Only lost game to Iron Up Beluta, which I believe was for a WBC,
Silver?
yeah, international silver title.
Yeah, it was something like that.
And that was at super bantamweight.
I like Beluta.
Yeah, yeah. I was sort of coming around to that. I think that he's a name where you could go see somebody losing to him, could see him causing a bit of an upset. But the thing that I think's important about this is that if this is, which it is, a final eliminator, I don't really see that that Andrew Kane's necessarily going to be at that level where he's actually realistically going to be challenged. He'll get him shot, obviously, but
I don't want to get him shot. I
you
quite
know,
like Andrew
it'll
Kane.
get him a shot, obviously. But does it give him a realistic
Let's
chance?
skip the bullshit, right? Let's skip the bullshit. Let's skip the breakdown. Let's skip the whole.
No, we won't win a world title.
No,
Oh, I thought
no.
so.
Anyone can win a world title. We've seen some awful world champions, right, over the years. Okay, if you're a decent level fighter and you get match right, you can win a world title. But as it stands, for him to win a world title, he
Yeah,
would have to fight Junto Nakatani.
which is why I said he's not going to win a world title.
Fair enough.
It just, I'd be
I like
interested.
Andrew Kane.
Yeah, I do, and I'd be interested to see how he goes on in this fight because Gonzalez is, from what I can tell, pretty tough. I mean, he's 19-6-3, so quite a lot of losses, and not a lot of them have been particularly notable. I think the name that jumped out at me was Brian Mercado Vasquez, which was just one that sort of was like, yeah, okay, he's lost a decent fighter there, and his win. Uh, well, this is the interesting part. Gonzalez's most recent win was a TKO victory over Juan Hernandez Navarrete, who was a previous WBC World Flyweight Champion. Now that was a while ago, to be fair,
Yeah.
when Navarrete was a Flyweight World Champion. But still, you don't necessarily lose your skills. You might lose your fitness. You might lose your.
The thing I took from it was the age.
Mm,
So down at the lower weight classes, heavyweights, you can fight till you're 56. Makes
yeah,
no odds. Lower weight classes, generally, you get to 32, 33, 34. You're then at that point where people go, that pace starts to drop.
yeah.
Navarrete was 38.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It was a long time since him being a world champion, but
It's a good name to have
it
on your
takes.
resume.
I think it takes. Yeah, it definitely looks good on his resume. Again, it's one of those fights where you've got to go, how much do we take away from it? But it's stoppage win over somebody who's had the tools to be a world champion. So
Do you think that win is a better win on the resume than, say, Charlie Edwards for Andrew Kane?
I mean, you're testing me on my
This is a pointed
knowledge of
question.
Charlie Edwards, but I would suggest that Charlie Edwards hasn't necessarily. Don't know. Don't really know.
The reason I'd say it's a pointed question is because obviously both are former world champions.
Mm,
Um, I don't think we ever really knew how good Charlie Edwards was.
yeah.
Whereas now, still don't think we really know what's left in the tank for Charlie. He keeps saying he wants another world title shot, but I don't know where that comes.
Again, after his loss to Andrew Kane,
Well,
it's what he does
he ran
next.
away for 10 rounds,
Yeah.
which he didn't even box off the back foot. He just didn't engage for 12 rounds, for 10 rounds, 12 rounds, some rounds, an amount of rounds,
A number of rounds.
a number of rounds. But yeah, no. So with this one though, the realism of it is, I like Andrew Kane. I think he'll win. He'll put himself in a good spot. Hopefully change his life, earn a fuckload of money, get a world title shot, probably get knocked out by Junto Nakatani, goes home to Liverpool, to the Red Triangle gym, and will continue to punch Peter McGrail in sparring.
Nice. Well, just before we move on, yeah, only because we've talked about it already. This isn't Gonzalez's first fight in the UK. Actually, he has fought.
Is he really?
Yeah, fought Billy Stewart for an IBF Youth Super Bantamweight title
When? You didn't write
a
it down.
while ago.
Sometime.
Yeah, a while
Many,
ago.
many, many
Like
days.
8 fights ago, probably.
Really?
So yeah.
How's Billy Stewart getting on?
No. You find out.
I'll find out in a minute. The next
Um,
fight's got some interesting talking points, though. He's
yeah,
one of my favourite fighters.
yeah. Final fight for any considerable amount of discussion is Jack Turner and Juan Carlos Martinez
Abinad.
Urbina. 10 rounds at super flyweight.
It was 13 fights ago. It was in 2021.
Thank you.
He hasn't, and Mr. Stewart hasn't fought since 2022. He basically retired after beating Gary Ducci.
Thank you for bringing us up now that we've moved on.
All right.
So, Jack Turner,
Gimp.
13-0, 12 knockouts. Good wins. We talked about it before we started. Good wins over Ryan Frag and I forget his first name, but Muguruza, where we watched him.
Sebastian.
He had a tough fight in that fight. We watched it. I think we actually live streamed that one.
We did.
And it was just a case of his power got him out of trouble.
Yeah.
He was not looking very good, looking like he was probably getting beat.
I think
Stopped him.
people will argue, though, won't they, that he's got that neutralizer,
Hmm.
and that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing. We're seeing it with Fabio Wardley, seeing it with Deontay Wilder, seeing it with
Elifnia Turan.
yeah, where when your ability is not able to win you a fight, having that one punch to change a game,
Yeah.
it's it's one of them. Should he rely on that? I don't know. He didn't look brilliant though, did he? That fight.
No, I think
I didn't. He didn't look sharp. He didn't look at the races or anything.
that
That fight.
that's the disappointing thing is that if he go like Muguruza's an okay opponent,
Yeah, it
same
was
with
better than
Ryan
we
Farag.
expected. Yeah,
But if he goes in there with somebody of any, sort of significant level, world level or whatever it may be, I think it will be too much, and somebody will be intelligent enough to avoid that. You know, got keep the shots away from him, not take anything on the chin, keep your gloves up, whatever. And he just a bit more intelligent boxing would probably prevent him from just using his power to get him out of trouble. But I think he's got the skills. It's just that that fight didn't really showcase them. And I did have a look, and since then as well, another fight he had was sort of backwards. So Ryan Farag and Muguruza were sort of still going this way.
yeah.
And it kind of looks like the last fight he had was a bit of a drop. And again, this fight, no disrespect to Juan Carlos, but he's 10-3-1. He's only ever fought in Nicaragua. Got 4 stoppages. He's been stopped before as well. No names that you would know for a win. No names you would know for a loss. And I just wonder whether his team around him have done what we've done and gone, that's concerning. That should have been another blow away. And then the last fight's happened, and it's like, okay, should have been another blow away. We need to keep testing him before we,
Let's just reset.
yeah, and just find people who are going to test weaknesses in his game
Yeah.
and go, right, chuck him in there, see how he deals with it, learn, improve, find somebody else, some other part of his game that's not quite there, and keep improving, which is the right thing to do. He's only 13 fights in. He was one of your
Prospects.
British prospects,
I think he's
and
brilliant.
deservedly so.
I think he's brilliant, and I think he's got the ability to go on and do it. And I think the argument would be, you get to a certain point, don't you, in a certain level where you're not going to be able to learn, even in the weak spots of your game, how much can you learn against a certain level of opposition. But at the same time, he's with Queensberry. They've matched him well. They're obviously looking at his performances against Muguruza. I would be assuming, same as you, that they're the sort of turning points. And he's gone, right, maybe slow it down a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's just take the foot off the gas. We've got, because let's be honest, Jack Turner's he's not headlining
no,
a show anytime soon.
no.
And that's no disrespect to his ability. It's just that he hasn't got that following yet.
I think he's got that privilege of he's not got the eyes of the nation on him yet.
No,
So
absolutely not.
there's the opportunity to slow down a bit, which I think I have to recognise that was probably a bit of like a stab at him, really. And also, if he hadn't have had the Ryan Frag fight and the Muguruza fight, probably wouldn't even be saying this because
At that
he'd
level.
still be at that level, and he'd still be. But
Yeah.
it just seemed like I've gone up here, now I'm coming back down. But again, I think that's just part of his development. It was a bit more of an observation of he was doing the right things and then took a bit of a slightly tougher, harder fight against Ryan Frag. So then you sort of think, right, he's going to carry on now and he's going to keep going. But just slowing down a bit. Like you say, probably the right thing, probably the right decision for his career.
I think so.
Just curious to see after this whether there are a couple more fights where he's trying to learn, trying to build, or whether it's time to chase some titles, some rankings.
Yeah, you don't tend to see Queensberry putting area titles on on the line, which I always think is a little bit of a shame. But for me, let's put him in there for an English title. Let's look at a Commonwealth silver, something like that. Put a belt on the line that the opponent's going to come in to win, not potentially got the investment and the backing that Turner's gotten. And yeah, we're both dying, guys. Sorry. And just see what comes through. But yeah, he's got plenty of time. I think this year will be a building year, and then hopefully next year world titles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not world titles.
World title's probably a bit far, actually.
Undisputed
I sort of said
championships.
absolutely because I was still recovering from my throat ripping cough.
I've got to be honest, my brain's not working properly.
But that's the final fight that we'll talk about in any great depth because there's a lot of fights on this card. So if you've not got anything on and even if you have got something on, cancel your plans, cancel your dinner date with your wife, tell your mum you're not coming round, and sit at home and watch the boxing because there's loads on.
Fake an injury.
Fake an injury.
Really severe one.
There's also a couple of other fighters. There's Brad Strand, who's on the card. I don't think he's got an opponent announced yet.
I've just double checked it there. Yeah, so
Same
to be assigned.
Same for Steve Clark as well.
Yeah. So he's still waiting. He's still waiting for an opponent. Obviously, Brad Strand, trying to get back into the win column.
Back in the green.
Well, no, he's back in the green, but against a notable opponent. Don't expect it to be that one. Couple of other little shout outs as
William
well.
Birchall on there, is he?
Yeah, so you got one of the Birchall brothers, one of the many. You've also got Paddy Lacey, who I'm a big fan of, former footballer. Yeah, thanks. Former footballer, has been with Matchroom over the years. Got a decent little following, Paddy Lacey. He's in a nice little fight against the 3-3 Jack Swallow. Jensen Irving, one of the most notorious journeymen on the planet, fighting 1-0 Luke Turner. Luke Pryor, back out for his second fight. So yeah, it's good. It's good. Got a couple of debutants as well. Sam Norris was one of the standouts. So yeah, it should. Do you know what? It is a cracking little card of boxing. And if we weren't going to be in America, probably watch it.
I'll tell you what. Seeing as though you've said it's a cracking little card, we'll mix things up a bit and do your rating now. What do you think out of 10? How would you rate the card?
7.
7.
Yeah, it's got good. It's got a world title. The rest of it's meh, but it's got a lot of depth.
Title and a final elimination.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And it's in Liverpool, and I like Liverpool.
See, I actually think
my 7th favourite city in the UK.
Perhaps slightly harshly, I would maybe give it more like a 6. This one.
Would you?
7. Personally, I'm just thinking in terms of like for likes, what we've seen. Probably would give it.
I've probably been a bit kind. Probably more of a 5 thinking about it.
Right, we'll go through quickly then the winners. So Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa.
Ball bag.
Andrew Kane and Alejandro Gonzalez.
I'm gonna go with Andrew Kane.
Nice. And Jack Turner and Juan Urbina.
Jack Turner should be a given. It's going to be a glorified sparring session.
All the Brits then, no bias. Nice. Best fight to watch?
It's going to be main event. Main event. It's going to be intriguing. I think you've got either one or two options. You're going to have the breakdown of the sort of the tactical thinking of how Nick Ball works against Figueroa's expected jab.
Yep.
But you've also got how does Figueroa come to approach it. If I was approaching this fight and I was Figueroa, fucking war it out. See what happens. War it out. Just go in there. War. Big hooks.
I think you got to be a brave man to try to do that with Nick Ball, really.
Figueroa's brave, I've heard.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, main event's going to be banging. Main event's going to be 100% banging.
Nice one. That leaves our final point, which is reliant on the old ChatGPT. For anybody who's maybe not watched many or any episodes before, we are at war with the robots. So our scores up here, Boxing 365, AI. That's a running total since we started actually recording it, as in keeping record of the score. And we're going to ask ChatGPT to predict who the winners are. And then at the end of every month, we have a look and we see who got the most right. It all goes on the board.
I just want to apologise for anyone that is new. We're more lively normally.
I think we're fairly lively.
I'm so like my brain don't work. Nick
what else is new?
Blake, shut up. Nick Ball, stoppage. Andrew Kane, stoppage. Jack Turner, likely to win.
Right, that's pretty. I was hoping Jack Turner stoppage as well then, just so we
No,
could have a clean sweep.
no,
Fair
just
enough.
Jack Turner, likely
Likely to win.
Jack Turner might win, according to
So
RoboEd.
once again, the AI's copied our homework. If you have made it this far, please do make sure to like the video. Drop a comment if you disagree with what we've said, if you agree with what we've said, if you want to hear us talk about something else, and we will make sure to see you on the next video.